Well, this partnership is about the long run. Productivity growth, you might nudge it from one year to the next by a few tenths of a percentage point, half a point, maybe 1 percentage point, and that might not sound like a lot. But productivity growth compounds over time. And so too does research capacity. And so the investment in this partnership, in people, in data, in collaborations will strengthen a lot of the decision making that we take. It'll strengthen a lot of the research that we do as a country. And that's going to continue to pay dividends for Canada's economy well into the future. And so having a grant with a 15-year time horizon gives a unique opportunity for researchers and for governments right across the country to tackle this long-term challenge that is at the heart of much of what Canada's economy now faces, whether it's from affordability to trade resilience or economic growth writ large. And so it's this partnership that's about giving Canada the tools, the evidence, and the people it needs to improve productivity, strengthen opportunities, and improve living standards for everybody.
Productivity is complicated in some ways. In some ways, it's not very complicated. We're not doing enough with as effectively with our inputs. It's not about working harder. It's not about working longer. It's about producing more with the time that we actually are working, right? And that means all of us as Canadians. We have lots of potential solutions. We have some political will, and I would say since Donald Trump's election and the wake-up call for our Canadian economic challenges has been an opportunity that we must not waste. But it also takes political will. It also takes some concrete solutions. I'll give you a really good example. One of the biggest problems we have in Canada is our interprovincial trade barriers. Some of those are there partly because of politics, right? Provincial politicians don't want to make decisions that might encourage jobs to move to another province. But in some cases, it's also just a problem of information. It's really hard for a provincial premier to say, sure, I'll accept the standards and regulations that are in the 9 other provinces without actually knowing what they are. So it's really hard to agree to something you don't know what it is. The fact that there is no data, that there is no central repository for a description of the different regulations, whether it's truck axles or toilet seat specifications for manufacturing, there's no data. And so it's really hard for premiers, even if they have the political will, to be able to say, sure, let's just do this. So one of the things that we're proposing is to try and fix that lack of data problem. So it's a combination. Sometimes it's political will. I think there's a lot more of that right now, and we should take full advantage of it.
Well, for policymakers, this partnership does mean access to timely, policy-ready research. And I don't just mean academic papers. We'll have that as well, but we'll also be developing tools and information dashboards and really clear evidence that can be used throughout program design, through the budget cycle, through regulatory reviews. We'll also have opportunities for some of the graduate students trained through the partnership to potentially work with or even inside of different government departments, really embedding kind of some of the knowledge that we'll be producing inside of the government decision-making process. And what that does is really reduce the lag between new insight and real-world decisions. And that's where the impact can actually happen.
Productivity is not an easy challenge, and there are no easy solutions, and there are no one and done solutions. What we've seen in Canada is that we've allowed it to slip over decades. That's as a result of lack of attention being really paid to the challenge, the complacency that we've allowed ourselves to get into. I will repeat this again. Donald Trump has been challenging without question, but he has single-handedly given Canada a massive wake-up call in terms of what we need to do to improve our own economic prosperity, not for his sake, but for our own sake. It is not a one and done. This is not, there's no silver bullet that's going to solve this, but a combination of policies and political will and continuing vigilance over the next years to come to ensure that we do what we can to enhance our economic prosperity, as opposed to allowing, again, our productivity to diminish, which then diminishes our economic prosperity. So no, it's not a one and done. It's a constant, continuing effort, but that's something that we feel is very possible, and we're very happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, Canada's economy doesn't operate in silos, and neither should research. And so what this partnership does is brings together over 30 researchers, 6 federal government partners, and universities right across 4 provinces. And that's just the beginning. We will grow from here.
I am so excited about the SSHRC grant, the federal government grant for the project being led by the School of Public Policy, being led by Trevor Tombe, with a number of different organizations across the country. This is a real team effort across the country. I have rarely seen something like this. The fact that it was recognized by the federal government, viewed to be worth supporting, the fact that it's being led by Trevor and the School of Public Policy is just, I can't tell you how proud I am. The fact that we did the Major Productivity Summit a year ago, October, the fact that that morphed into 6 separate productivity sessions, sub-conferences, if you will, on a sectoral basis across the country, has been accumulating ideas and solutions. A ton of different experts have been weighing in. This next step, this major grant for this major productivity initiative being led by the School of Public Policy, being led by Trevor Tombe, with, as I said, a variety of organizations and experts across the country, is just a real testament to, frankly, the leadership that has been shown, and is a really, really good sign that people are taking this challenge seriously.